heart of ancient Japan, a land steeped in tradition and honor, emerged a warrior who would change the course of history. Forged in the fires of war, he sought a path to self-mastery through the way of the sword. His name was Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary ronin who would come to be known as the greatest swordsman in Japanese history. As the world around him changed, Musashi would develop a philosophy that would transcend the battlefield, guiding a countless number of warriors throughout the ages. This is the story of the Dokkodo, the way of walking alone. In this time of turmoil and uncertainty, his teachings offer a beacon of light. Across the globe, the spirit of the warrior seems to have disappeared, so it is time for us to reignite the flame and bring it right back. So prepare to go on a journey, diving deep into the spirit of the Dokkodo in a way that has never been done before. We're going to dive deep into each of the 21 principles, each one diving into historical figures and stories that will help you understand Musashi's ideas on a much deeper level. In the echoing corridors of time, there have been many men and women whose very existence has given humanity hope. These are individuals whose lives have been vast tapestries of sorrow and joy, despair and hope, darkness and enlightenment. Among them, there is Viktor Franco, a name that has become synonymous with resilience and the search for meaning. Imagine Vienna in the 20th century, a city of musicians and philosophers, poets and scientists, and in the midst of this cultural hub was born a young boy named Viktor. The city that once echoed with the footsteps of Mozart and Beethoven now resonated with the ideas of Sigmund Freud. In this city of thinkers, Viktor too embarked on his quest for knowledge, eventually diving into the world of psychiatry. As the world around him began to shatter with the rise of the Nazi regime, Viktor, being of Jewish descent, found himself and his family ensnared in the gruesome clutches of the Holocaust. Yet, even in the concentration camps, where death was more familiar than life and despair loomed larger than hope, Viktor Franco made an extraordinary discovery. It was in the cold, brutal confines of Auschwitz and Dachau that Viktor stumbled upon a revelation that would illuminate the world. He observed that those prisoners who attached meaning to their suffering were more resilient to the torments of camp life. In the grimiest of circumstances, where everything can be taken away from a man, the one thing that remains untouchable is his ability to choose how to respond. From these dark depths emerged man's search for meaning, Franco's magnum opus. He released it after the war, and in it he introduced the concept of logotherapy, the theory that our primary motivational force is to find meaning in life. His ideas were revolutionary because while many other psychological paradigms focus on the how and what of human behaviour, Franco asked the why. He proposed that even in the face of tragic circumstances, there exists a possibility to creatively turn suffering into a human achievement. What's astonishing about Franco's journey is not just his survival, but how he turned his harrowing experience into a beacon of hope for others. He did not just pen down his insights, but became a living embodiment of them. Post-war, Franco's days were illuminated with accolades and achievements. He resumed his work in Vienna, treating patients, lecturing worldwide, and authoring several books. Yet through all of this, the essence of his message remained consistent, that life, no matter how dark or painful, is meaningful. In our world today, where existential crises are common and the search for purpose often feels elusive, Viktor Frankl's life stands as a testament to the indomitable human spirit. His story whispers to us the profound idea that even in the face of unspeakable adversity, one can rise, find meaning and illuminate the world. In essence, Viktor Frankl's life is not just a story of survival, but a tale of triumphant resilience. It reminds us that in the labyrinth of existence, when we search for meaning and hold on to hope, every dead end can transform into a new beginning. Now on the surface, a concentration camp survivor and a wandering samurai might seem worlds apart, but if we delve deeper, their wisdom converges into a powerful message about acceptance. Musashi's words are not a call to passivity, but an invitation to profound awareness. By accepting everything as it is, one then can become attuned to the natural rhythms of the world, devoid of prejudice and illusion. It means accepting the storm for its fury, the rival for their skill, and the self for both your strengths and flaws. Only then can one move in harmony with existence, striking with precision and purpose. Franco's perspective was carved out of unimaginable suffering. Where most would see despair and meaninglessness, Franco found a wellspring of hope and purpose. To him, acceptance wasn't a resignation to one's fate, but rather an understanding that even in suffering, there exists an opportunity for deeper meaning. Just as Musashi would flow with the world around him, Franco encouraged a form of existential dance, one where the steps may be fraught with pain, but the dance itself can hold this profound purpose. The beauty of both their teachings lies in the idea that resistance, whether against external circumstances or internal turmoil, often perpetuates suffering. Acceptance, on the other hand, opens the doors to clarity, understanding and transformation. I mean, picture Franco in the harrowing cold of Auschwitz, finding solace in the memories of his loved ones and drawing strength from the conviction that his suffering had meaning. Now imagine Musashi amidst the duel as he sidesteps a killing blow, his every movement a testament to his deep connection with the moment, devoid of fear or hesitation. Both men, in their unique contexts, embody the principle of acceptance, and through it, they soared to unparalleled heights. In our modern age, as we grapple with challenges from personal tribulations to societal upheavals, the worlds of these two luminaries offer a beacon of hope. Their wisdom suggests that true power does not stem from conquering the world, but from conquering oneself. And the first step towards that mastery is to simply accept everything just the way it is. Now that we've covered our aspirational character, we now must cover our detrimental character. A man whose life was entwined with tales of victories and setbacks, which stands as a testament to his defiance of the principle of accept everything just the way it is. This man was none other than Tsar Nicholas II, the last emperor of Russia. His reign, a dance against fate, is a powerful reminder of what happens when someone tries to change reality and history to suit their own desires. Born into the splendor of the Russian Empire, Nicholas II was never one to settle for things as they were. Nicholas was told from an early age that one day he would be in charge of Russia's destiny. That strong belief, along with the feeling that he was God's anointed ruler, prevented him from letting things stand as they were. It was a notion that would serve as both his inspiration and his worst enemy. Russia under Nicholas II was a massive country, huge in scope but delicate in its social structure. The nation was going through a dramatic transition. Industrialization was changing the face of cities. New democratic and socialist ideologies were taking hold, and there was a noticeable discontent among the people. However, instead of observing this reality and internalizing these changes in the world, Nicholas held even more firmly to the traditions of the autocracy rather than adapting to the changing circumstances and modifying the system. This opposition became a defining feature in his reign. Nicholas's problems began with the Russo-Japanese War of 1904 to 1905, in which Russia was unexpectedly and humiliatingly defeated. But Nicholas wrote off the battle as a minor setback, rather than acknowledging that Russia needed to update its forces and tactics in order to overcome this defeat. The common people, who suffered the most from the war's aftermath, were more cut off from the monarchy as a result of his rejection. After that, the 1905 revolution followed. Thousands of non-violent protesters marched in the direction of the Winter Palace in an effort to bring about reforms. They thought that the Tsar would pay attention. However, the day, which is now known notoriously as Bloody Sunday, saw the slaughter of a large number of demonstrators instead. Deepening the nation's wounds was Nicholas's refusal to acknowledge the reality of what was happening on the ground, and his inability to empathize with the legitimate grievances of his people. Now, Nicholas's family life was filled with love despite all of his difficulties, particularly for his haemophilic son Alexei. The Tsar, however, instead of relying on conventional medicine to help his haemophilic son, turned to instead the controversial mystic Gregory Rasputin in an attempt to save his son from his terrible illness. Now, this irrational reliance on mysticism furthered Nicholas himself from the people, depending mostly on a mystic's advice rather than realizing and appreciating the popular discontent against Rasputin's dominance in the royal household. And one of the final nails in Nicholas's coffin was World War I. Nicholas clung to his traditional ideas, even while nations changed their policies and methods of government to deal with the contemporary war. Despite having minimal military experience, his desire to personally lead the troops was evidence of his incapacity to face reality. The October Revolution of 1917 marked the end of Nicholas's dance against fate. Russia was worn out, broken, and ready for change. The Bolsheviks gained a sizable following by promising bread and peace. And even in his last hours of power, Nicholas continued to have faith in his ability to save the empire. But destiny had other ideas. The Romanov dynasty came to an end with his abdication and his terrible execution with his loving family. When looking back, Tsar Nicholas II's life is a symphony of lost chances and choices, many of which resulted from his failure to simply accept everything the way it is. Although it is admirable to stick to one's beliefs, Nicholas's reign shows us that ignoring the facts of life can ultimately bring about one's downfall. Now hey everyone, first off I just want to say a massive thank you for sticking around, and I realise it's been quite a while since I last uploaded, and I truly appreciate your patience. Life sometimes throws curveballs, and I've had some other pressing business commitments that kept me away from the channel, but I'm thrilled to be back and I'm ready to kickstart what I'm calling the chapter 2 phase of this channel. Trust me, it's going to be epic. Now today's video just scratched the surface, and if you enjoy this little glimpse of the stories and the characters and the principle that I highlighted, then I highly recommend diving deeper into the book of Nightshade Samurai. Feel free to head over to nightshadesamurai.com to get the full experience of chapter 1, which not just covers the historical stories of the characters that I've just covered, but also the frameworks that you can use to implement this principle into your life, and also the counter arguments for the situations when this may not be the best time to use this principle. And also feel free to check out our other products, from our Nightshade Samurai extract to our AI Wizard course, to help you get on that journey of awakening your warrior within. And make sure you stay tuned and subscribe to the channel, because there's a lot more content coming your way, and I can't wait to share it with all of you. I'll catch you on the flip side, my warrior.